Thank you, Aaron, for joining us today. It is a pleasure having you today. How can I define you? Seed investor, entrepreneur, strategic advisor to both startups and corporate, Africa innovation champion, world citizen, global connector. Do you agree?
Aspiring noodle maker as well.
I forgot that one. What was the personal motivation behind your decision to move to Africa 4 years ago to invest in, and start building startups over there?
Africa had always been on the map for me to explore a little bit further, but I didn't want to explore it as an NGO worker. I didn't want to explore it with the UN. I really wanted to explore it from an entrepreneurial and from a technology standpoint, right? Because these are the two forces which I believe are truly transforming the continent. And so I was really, really lucky for timing worked out, and I got to spend a few years exploring a little bit more.
In 2018, startups and technology companies across Africa raised around 700 million in funding. However, 90% of the funding went to companies raised in later stage rounds. What is the vision behind your focus on early stage startups?
I really enjoy being at sort of the early stage, right? I really enjoy when only 1 out of 20 companies will work out. I really enjoy working with founders when they have 0 customers, when they're still ideating, when they're still struggling, when they're still trying to figure out if they should hire a head of sales or a COO, right? These are sort of much tougher problems, right? And I think that unless we invest more at sort of the early stage, you can forget about the later stage stuff.
Yeah. Right? Can we say that you're more like an entrepreneur than an investor?
Yes. I think it's been really cool to entrepreneurially work alongside the other founders, right? Like I always say that every founder that I work with, like I would raise my hand to be their COO or to be their CFO like any day, right? And this is kind of the lens. Would I want to work with the CEO as a team member? And in very many ways, like I see myself as a team member as well, right? Maybe a distributed one, but still very much a part of the team. Africa is still a very nascent ecosystem with a lot of founders that might not have 6 or 7 years of work experience, who might not be able to walk into a bar like we are in London and run into a founder who's done this for 20 years. Like it's just a lot earlier, right? And I think we need to be a lot more collaborative and sort of really run alongside the founders and not sort of like see ourselves as separate. And so I've always sort of seen myself as part of the team, which I've really enjoyed.
Yeah, especially in a market as Africa, you need to have that connection with people.
Of course.
To be able to build ecosystems and all that. What's your selection criteria to pick the right startups to invest in? What is the X factor that makes them attractive to you?
Is this an individual and a team that I would enjoy working with? Does it seem like they're having fun, right? Does it seem like the mission that they're trying to tackle is large enough, right? And significant enough, right? Because, to your point, it's not just about them chasing a very, very large and ambitious goal because it would help them raise further funding later on. It actually has a lot to do with the point that we discussed earlier around talent, right? Because big, audacious, meaningful goals attract the best people. My job is to make sure that the teams that I back are able to build great teams around them, are able to solve a problem that's worth solving, and are able to do it in a commercially sound way, right?
2 of our key focus areas in FS-360 is fintech and financial inclusion. What's your views on the fintech landscape in sub-Saharan Africa?
I think the fintech landscape in sub-Saharan Africa is absolutely booming. I think it's so alive with people that are really, really driven by the possibility of fintech to really enable commerce, to really change the markets that they're in. And clearly with the likes of Flutterwave and Paga and Cellulant raising very, very large rounds, it's been able to be the darling of global attention as well, right? So I think it's only going to go from strength to strength, right?
Aaron, you spent at least 4 years in Africa, yeah? I've been following your journey on the continent for at least 2 to 3 years, the time we are connected. I have a big curiosity. Did Africa change your life?
Completely. Completely. The level of ambition and determination of people I've gotten to meet while I was there has just been absolutely transformative, right? What I've also really enjoyed is, the community of people are all there for a reason. So it's really opened my eyes to sort of, the potential of humankind. And I guess at the same time, it's also opened my eyes to the cost of not being bold, the cost of not being courageous, and the cost of not doing the right thing. If any of your viewers out there are sort of on the fence of taking the plunge, like, don't read the stories, come and do something, right?
And let me tell you something, Aaron, thank you.
Thank you.
And it's not thank you for being here today, it's thank you for your contribution on the continent, because we need more people like you. Because you spoke about the narrative. We need to tell the right narrative about Africa.
Exactly.
And you're doing that. Thank you very much for
We're
that.
trying.
Thank you very much.
Thank
All right?
you.
Cool.
Cheers, man.
Cool. That was. Building a startup in Africa is like flying off a cliff, building a plane, but also blindfolded with a crazy monkey on your back.
Fact. 100%.
How you know it's a fact? I got it. Investors in general do not understand African markets.
Fact.
Yeah, fact. It's very difficult for African startups to scale up.
Myth.
Myth?
Myth.
Okay. I agree with you. African entrepreneurs have a rare energy, creativity, and resilience.
Fact. Absolute 100%.
Big fact, big fact. Africa changed your life.
Total fact.
Big fact.
Big fact.
Aaron, thank you very much. Cheers. Thank you very much.
Hey, I'm waiting for you to invite me to spend more time in Guinea-Bissau.
All right.
And
So we
we'll
have
explore that a little bit more.
Rudy, we have a deal with him as well, right? Another deal, okay? Don't forget, it's on camera.